Did my first jump in 1980 while I was going to Ohio State University. Static line round, because that's all there was to do back then, and just completely fell in love with the sport from the first jump, and as I knew I was going to. While I went to Ohio State, I was working at the drop zone, and this is at a time where AFF wasn't developed yet. There weren't any tandems yet, and I was working at the drop zone as an instructor, as a jump master. I got my parachute rigger's ticket, I got my pilot's license, and by the time I graduated from Ohio State, it seemed like the best job for me to do was running the drop zone. And I'd already started competing by then. I'd already fell in love with four-way and competed my first year in '83, graduated in '84, and really wanted to continue with competition as much as I could. And somehow or another, I managed to think to myself that the most logical thing for me to do in order to continue doing four-way was also to run the drop zone. I don't know what I was thinking that I came up with that, but it seemed like a good idea at the time. And that was when you could do 150 jumps a year and be competitive. And a few years later, the French tag team got sponsorship and really upped the ante completely. They started doing 1,000 jumps a year, had 2 rigs, had packers, the things that we now consider almost normal with the very top teams. Actually, the sponsorship they had was beyond anything that's normal, even with the top teams today. But suddenly, doing 150 jumps a year, you weren't going to be able to stay competitive at all. And the Golden Knights picked up their training at the same time to try to match the French as well. And it quickly became apparent to me that if I wanted to have a chance of being a four-way world champion, I was going to have to leave Ohio and stop running the drop zone. And I really didn't know where to go and what to do, but I knew I couldn't do it there. So I headed west because I knew the sun shined more often, and hoping I would find a place to jump and teammates who wanted to do it as badly as I did, and ended up in Arizona.
And was this the first place that you ended up, or did you go to Paris first?
I was actually on my way to Paris. There was a team called the Paris Gumbies.
Okay, I've heard of those guys.
Which I had become good friends with, and both my team from Ohio was Greene County Fusion. And Fusion and the Gumbies, we were in the top few teams, in the top 5 teams every year, and we'd done 8-way together a lot, become very good friends. So my first plan when I left Ohio was to try to get those guys to go full-time. I figured they're very experienced guys, they're guys I knew I'd have a great time with, and if I could get them to train more, to go full-time, that sounded like the best plan. And I was planning on, taking a couple weeks to drive across the country, but I ended up doing it in about 36 hours. Just you get so excited about the idea, and just drove basically as fast as I could. And I was coming through Arizona, pre-dawn, and I saw a sign for Coolidge, and I remembered there's a drop zone there, and that's where a team called Desert Heat had trained. It was Tom Pyrus's first team that he had won the Nationals with. And I thought, it's 5 o'clock in the morning, I may as well stop by and grab some coffee and wake up. So I pulled into Coolidge and met Larry Hill as soon as I walked up, and he was trying to make Skydive Arizona into the team training center of the world, and he was looking for a team. He knew even if he provided the best facilities, he still needed to have a team. And I was looking for a place to build a team. And oddly enough, we just happened to be in the same place at the same time that morning, and I knew that was a possibility. But then I continued over to Paris. I just knew there was possibilities in Coolidge, but I was still on the way to Paris. And I went over there and did a couple of days jumping with the Gumbies, and the jumps were fantastic, and I was still hoping we could start it there. But those guys didn't want to commit to the level that I wanted to. Even though we were starting off at a very high level, they weren't ready to quit their jobs and sell their souls for it, and I was. So I went back to Coolidge then and started a team called Coolidge Force in '89. And that's where the insanity began. I remember always just dreaming of flying. I remember looking up in the sky and thinking, that is so incredible. What would it be like to be up there in the sky?
16 people died when the plane went down.
There were at least 2 skydiving teams on board. One was a local team. They were practicing for the Skydiving National Championships.
Most seriously injured was Dan Brodsky-Schenfeld.
Team 105 and go west for 5.
You know, there's so much to tell and so little sometimes. It was just another day at the drop zone, you know, another training day, another perfect, wonderful day that you're there with your friends and your team and your buddies and you know, when you can't even imagine the day would end like this.
Dan Brodsky-Schenfeld, who suffered a broken neck, skull fractures, a collapsed lung, and internal injuries.
I have no recollection of the actual crash itself. I was unconscious for a long time afterwards. But I know that it was just a regular day on the drop zone.
His fellow teammate James Lane, who Schenfeld taught to jump, died in the crash.
I woke up about 6 weeks afterwards to be told what had happened.
We wanted to have that the memories in our head were that these people were happy, these people were doing what they love to do.
There wasn't any doubt of whether I wanted to or not. It was just a matter of, can I? Will I be able to? It was the years that I spent with the Coolidge Force and with air moves and especially now with airspeed. People talk about living their dreams and doing the things they're passionate about all the time. And very often they don't give themselves the chance to actually do it. And in every way, I was doing exactly what I had always dreamt about. I might have been living in my van at the drop zone in Eloy or Coolidge, but I was doing exactly what I wanted. I was pursuing the sport that I just loved, trying to push it as far as I could. With air moves, I had the opportunity to pick some of my best friends who I had wanted to do this with. And it was such an incredible way to live, to wake up that excited every day. You know, I can't wait to get up. I can't wait to get at it again. I can't wait to be better at this than I am now. I can't wait to see how far we can push this. I can't wait to share it with all my other skydiving friends. Once you've had a chance to really honestly live your dream like that, you don't want to accept anything else. And so to me it was just a matter of, can I? Can I? course, the doctors tell you can't, but they tell you this. You know, if you break a fingernail, they tell you this.
That's right. Yes, they do.
And despite the doctor's grim prognosis of what they told me, I didn't see any reason that I wouldn't be able to. I didn't have any spinal cord damage. My internal organs were going to be working sufficiently. My head injury and loss of memory would still be good for 35 seconds anyway. So I didn't see any reason why I couldn't continue. So once I realized that, then the goal was to continue. I would find out then if I would be able to or not, but I didn't see, had I been seriously risking paralysis more so than before, after the neck injury and everything else, I may not have continued. But from everything I understood, if I make sure I have a soft opening parachute and I make sure I land like a conservative person, I saw no reason why there'd be any greater risk than it is under normal conditions.
The other night, I felt lonely. No stars in sight. I saw a man. He told me I should leave this town. There's something going down, but he wouldn't say. Stop the story there. That moment made me who I am today. And I wanna know why I wake up every morning searching for something that I can't find. Seasons change and clouds don't lie. I will try to know how it feels to fly. On the road, searching for the things that make us who we are. A heart gone cold, a man with soul. I pick my feet up and I run.
Dan Brodsky-Chenfield fought back and won. This week, he's taking part in the U.S. National Skydiving Championships at the Paris Valley Airport.
So many dreams, like to forget. Moment awake or sleeping again. Number kiss, I'll never get. To be awake without awakening, without awakening, without awakening, without awakening.
I think it changes your perspective on life a bit, and how much you really appreciate every moment and every day and every person, and how much you want to make the most out of all those times and the friends that you have, and you want your friends to know how much you care about them. When you wake up being unconscious for 6 weeks and you find out about all the friends that didn't.
Canopy formation load. Floor, we need you guys in the loading area.
One of my
You'll be
teammates
next
died
floor.
in the crash. His name was James Lane, and James was like a little brother to me. I had taught him to jump in Ohio when he was 14.
And on a
His whole family worked at our drop zone,
Brad for two,
and he had just, incredible skydiver. It's an incredible guy.
And Carl for four.
And I had been
15
looking
minutes
for the
after
chance to have him on a team. And Air Moves was finally the opportunity when he was actually old enough. He just turned 21 that year, and we had the sponsorship that made it possible for him to come. And it was important for me, waking up 6 weeks later to find out that he was gone, for me to know that he knew how much I loved him. He knew how close we were. He knew how much I cared about him. And had I not made that clear to him, had I lost him and never had the chance to really tell him, for him not to be aware of that, I've been very hard to live with. And I think it makes you said what, kind of went on a tangent here, but you said what about the crash changes things or makes you stronger. I don't know if it makes you stronger, but it makes you want to appreciate everything, and you want the people who you appreciate to know that you appreciate them and how much that they mean to you. And it really makes you think of what's honestly important and what's not. All the things, the superficial things that we so often give much more credit to than they deserve, you don't give them credit anymore. You value the important things.
Yep, that's right.
And that makes you a better competitor too. You're not worried as much about winning. You're worried about doing the best you can damn well do every jump you can, and if they can beat it, let them have it.
That's right.
But you win, lose, whatever, because those things aren't as important. Well, today I'm still gloating on having a little airspeed reunion and getting to do 8-way for the last 2 days, and how much fun that is. But I'm, as far as my day-to-day life, I'm running Skydive Paris, which is a fabulous drop zone and a fabulous place where you can do all the things that you love. I mean, all the different aspects of skydiving, from the students to teams to every different discipline of skydiving to big ways. We get to enjoy it all over there and do it well and share it with a lot of people. So that's great. I have a family and 2 kids, which obviously the top priority there. We're organizing the Dubai 500, the next world record 500 way. That's enough to keep me pretty busy.
So you said you have a family, a wife and 2 kids. Can you tell us who your wife is? And
my wife's name is Christy.
Okay.
Daughter Chloe, who is going to turn 17 soon, and our son Landon, who is 12. Yeah, I just had a book published called Above All Else, and it's kind of a long history of it and how it came about. I think it mostly started from, I was coaching a lot of teams, and the teams that I was coaching were coming back to me and telling me that everything I taught them about skydiving and taught them about competition, they were able to use in other aspects of their lives, in their work, in their family, in their relationships, in many ways. Many ways more important than skydiving. And they encouraged me to put it down, write down what you've been teaching us. And that's mostly where it started from. It went through quite an evolution from there, but that was the beginning.
Where can people get your book?
It's on Barnes & Noble, on Amazon. It's Square One catalog. If you go to aboveallelsethebook.com, it also has the links to it and tells you more about the book. And I'm hoping the book makes it beyond skydivers also, because it also will do, I hope, that it also brings the same awareness and education to non-skydivers as the movie, as your show. Same idea.
If someone wants a signature, can that be arranged?
I'm I'm more than happy. Anybody who wants to buy it, I'm happy to sign and say whatever.
All right.
I'm thrilled that anybody is interested in.
All right.
So like one.
They can send it to you.
Absolutely.
Wow.
If they're so inclined, I'd be happy to.
I sure hope I'm not starting something here as well. Next thing I know, you have a pile of mail in front of your door.
It's easy if you come by Paris.
Yeah.
But, it has quite a long history as well. The original idea actually started off before the crash. And I was living in my van in Coolidge, and the skydiving was just starting to be seen in movies back then. Point Break was about to come out. We'd seen it in James Bond movies, and it was great for people to see it, but it was only stunts. The only thing they saw at all in skydiving was stunts, which just made people think even more that skydiving is a stunt. It's a crazy thing that only adrenaline junkie madmen do. And people didn't realize at all that it was a sport. People still, to this day, largely don't know that it's a sport. If they could see the teams here, how hard the teams train, how hard they work, how watching the teams prepare is the same as watching any professional basketball team or athletes prepare for their competitions. And people generally don't know this. So my idea from the very beginning was to make an athletic drama about skydiving. Athletic movies about sports dramas are usually big hits, and they're all sorts of different sports, from chess, baseball, hockey, chess, and it's all sorts of games and competitive movies. And people who have never played the game in their lives still are drawn to that. They see the passion and the commitment that athletes give towards their goals like this, and people who never are involved with the sport love these kinds of movies. And people always loved the skydiving that they saw in movies. You'd hear them talking about it all the time, the most incredible scenes. Even if we as skydivers knew that it was crap, and they were doing something that could never be done, they still liked it. And I thought, if we could make a movie that's basically a sports movie, but with skydiving, so people could see the sport, it would change our sport, and it would be the best thing that could happen for skydiving, for the public to have the honest perception of what the sport really is instead of what they think it is. And I actually started working on it before the crash. And then after the crash, a friend of mine, Mary Pat Avery is her name, I had lost interest, obviously, at that point. I didn't care about this anymore. I was busier trying to recover from this. And she came to me and said, we need to put together a script about this story. It's still a sports movie, but this is a story people love. This is a story people want to see. And at that time I hate this story's guts. I'm like, it's the last thing I even want to think about. And she started working on it a lot. And after a few years, I was able to see that it was probably a good idea and worked with her on it. And now she has been very actively have it in development, has some investors interested, has some original scripts that she's taken around, and we'll see where it goes. When you've had the chance to live your dream like that, you don't want to let it go.
And I wanna know
Zahme Vögel träumen von der Freiheit. Wilde Vögel fliegen. The sky is not the limit, the ground is. Faster, faster, until the thrill of speed overcomes the fear of death.
Hello, my name is Olav Zipser. I'm a free flyer and I travel the world, and I was born in Germany.
We refuse to believe that man can't fly.
When I was a child, America and the Soviet Union were racing to the moon, and that's all I saw, and that's probably the first thing I saw on TV. And all my life I wanted to be an astronaut myself. When I started skydiving, it was in 1986. Skydiving was not really developed like we have today.
Until the thrill of speed overcomes the fear of death.
It took me about 4 years of experimenting myself in the sky, flying alone, to fly in all different ways. And I came up with a new flying style, which later on I called free flying. About 10 years after I started skydiving, free flying became a very popular kind of way of maneuvering in the sky, and I found a lot of friends who wanted to fly the same way. Now in the modern days, since the year 2000, free flying actually has become an international appreciated aviation sport with nationals and world championships, and even the World Games, the Olympic World Games, have included free flying in their program. Now, the next step will be Free Fly Astronaut program, and we're going high up in the sky and we free fly the black sky. I have used every opportunity to go as high as possible in any kind of plane I could find, anywhere in the world, in any skydiving place. And in 1995 I came to Russia to fly with an Illusion 76 to jump from 12,700 meters. I believe that was the highest flight anyone has made as a private astronaut at that time. Because of all this beautiful experience, I now have the intention to go even higher. Zvezda here in Russia is building the nicest spacesuits in the world. They have the most experience in building those spacesuits. And I have talked to a few officials of Zvezda at air shows and at their museum and at their production place. I had multiple meetings with them, and they let me in their secret rooms and provided me with 3 spacesuits for me to try out. And that I did. I found one nice spacesuit which I liked, but it was a bit too big. So now I made a deal with them. They will build me a spacesuit which is fit to my body, and will have some modification from the Orlan suit. That's the EVA suit which they're using at the space station. They will take parts of that suit and include that in the suit which they have already existing. They will be building me in the next half a year, say like 7-8 months, a free fly astronaut suit with specialties which no other spacesuit has in the moment. It will be more maneuverable, and it will be very much fitting my body. In the year 2010, I was thinking again about my free fly astronaut possibilities, and as I learned that there were changes in the laws of America in a way that now private companies are allowed to build spaceships and even rockets, all this sparked my imagination, and I thought like, wow, let's go to America and check out the rocket companies. I was fortunate enough to have help to go and check out 3 companies, and I made a deal with one company. The name is Interorbital System. Interorbital System, located in California, America, has provided me with 5 rockets, which can go maximum up to 310 kilometers. On my first rocket, I will only go to 40 kilometers. It will start from the ground, I will sit on the very top, and I will endure probably up to 3 Gs for 3.5 to 4 minutes to reach 40 kilometers. Ground control will then switch off the rocket, so the engine is off. The rocket will continue going up, and up on the very top of the apex I will be basically in 0 G. That's the moment where I climb out of the rocket and will jump from the rocket. 30 seconds after I enter the airspace, I will reach supersonic speed, which at that altitude will be approximately 1,100 kilometers per hour. 50 seconds after I jump from the rocket, I will reach maximum speed. Maximum speed will be 1,400, 1,500 kilometers per hour. 70 seconds after exiting the rocket, I will reach the maximum drag, meaning the biggest slowdown, because I will come closer to the ground, and closer to the ground the air is much thicker. So from that point on I will come back from supersonic into subsonic, and after I'm in the subsonic speeds, below 1,100 kilometers, I will have a feeling of a normal skydiver. And at about 2,000 to 3,000 meters above the ground, I will activate my parachute system, and I will land like I'm used to for the last 20,000 times on the ground underneath my parachute. The goal of the Freefly astronaut program is to develop a spacesuit which is capable to bring a human being back from space towards Earth in case there is an emergency. We envision that in the future space travelers, scientists, doctors, tourists will go to space hotels, ISS, or even just for fun flying with a spaceship to see the Earth. As more spaceships there will be in the future, as more possibilities there are that there will be something going wrong. And the idea is to create a space suit, and including the Freefly techniques which we have developed, and make that person have a second chance. He will be able to just jump into the spacesuit in case there's an emergency, using Freefly techniques to come back to Earth, hopefully having fun on the top of that, and land safely on Earth. That'll be a good thing. I'm very happy to see that since 2 weeks since I have had my Freefly astronaut project website up, that so many people are interested and have passion to go to space. In the last 2 weeks we had like 34,000 hits. To me that's quite amazing, and it shows the interest, and it shows the passion, and shows the desire of all human beings, and no matter what age, to go and reach the stars. My name is Olav Zipser. Freefly the black sky. See you soon on the moon. Freefly. Endless new. Mankind has developed into a flying species. Balloons, airplanes, spaceships, and now the pure body itself. Cruising the atmosphere, the last frontier before space. Now open to fly in for everyone. Freefly. Endless new.
Oh, dude, we just got it! For the first time in the world! XXXRW flying with an acrobatic airplane! Here in Northern California!
My name is Bill Dawes, owner of the Parachute Center. Been actively involved in skydiving since 1964. In my time in the sport, I have seen a lot of major changes.
Hi, my name is TJ Langren, and I'm a high-performance canopy pilot. The style of parachute that I'm flying is very fast. It is one of the fastest parachutes out there. And not a lot of people get to fly, or have the experience to fly these fast parachutes. And the reason is everything happens so fast.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Flores. I'm a wingsuit pilot. So basically what a wingsuit is a suit that we put on that had some membranes in between the arms and the legs. Those membranes pressurizes with air. When it combines with the relative wind, it creates lift. So basically what this is a flying suit.
I'm Katie Hansen and I fly wingsuits. In 2008, I saw people flying wingsuits off the cliffs, and I knew that that was something that I had to learn how to do. It's really about flying with your friends and in proximity to other people and sharing what it's all about with people you care about.
What I like to think XRW being is cross-relative work. We have two different disciplines, one being wingsuit flying, and another being canopies, and we're mixing those two disciplines.
The first time I saw XRW, I thought I have to learn how to fly the bigger wingsuit so I can do that. I want in. It looks amazing.
Hi, my name is Randy Pacheco. I'm a jump pilot and I'm a commercial pilot also. I didn't think it was possible for wingsuiting to progress to that point where they could match fall rates and match speed, and I was really wrong. I mean, this sport is developed and they're doing just incredible things now.
Hi, my name's Rob Pooley and I'm a high-performance canopy pilot.
Open the door and you step inside. We're inside our hearts. Now imagine you're
being involved with the XRW from the beginning here has been very exciting. Every jump went from an experiment or a discussion to an experiment and then to a standard to the next jump. All of these jumps are a series of experiments, and then you look back a week later and all of a sudden what was an experiment last week feels normal this week.
This is your life, good to the last drop. Doesn't get any better than this. This is your life, and it's ending 1 minute at a time. This isn't a seminar, this isn't a weekend retreat. Where you are now, you can't even imagine what the bottom will be like. Only after disaster can we be resurrected. It's only after you've lost everything that you're free to do anything. Nothing is static. Everything is evolving. Everything is falling apart. This is your life. This is your life. This is your life. This is your life. Doesn't get any better than this. This is your life. This is your life. This is your life. This is your life. And it's ending 1 minute at a time. You are not a beautiful and unique snowflake. You are the same decaying organic matter as everything else. We are all part of the same compost heap. We are the all-singing, all-dancing crap of the world. You are not your bank account.
We got to the point that we were doing it on a regular basis, and it was not an experiment anymore. It was something that we were doing it, you know? So we thought, what we're gonna do next?
While we were doing XRW, we were just using wingsuits and parachutes. Added a couple other parachutes, and then one day we decided, like, hey man, wouldn't it be cool if we could add an airplane?
Let's bring some other element. And the only thing we can think of is like, what would be cooler than having an airplane, a badass acrobatic pilot just going around the entire formation.
Initially, like, wouldn't that be cool? Like, wouldn't it be cool to jump with the space shuttle? You know, it was kind of far out there, but you know, you don't think really it's going to happen.
I'm Melissa Pemberton, and I'm an aerobatic pilot. With the competition aerobatics, I progressed very quickly. I went from the lowest level up through the unlimited level in only 3 years, and I became the youngest female to make the U.S. Unlimited Aerobatic team when I was 22.
So we start thinking, and after seeing Melissa's show, we're like, how can we integrate her into what we're doing? So we're like, oh, let's invite her and having her do kind of laps around the entire formation.
They kind of threw the idea out there, why don't you bring the Edge over? And we finally just picked a day and made it happen. the guys get together, and I came in with my airplane and got to see it in person, up close. I was so excited.
It was one of the most amazing, most spectacular things I've ever seen. Just the airplane smoke coming behind us, what the plane was doing, how close she was, everything. Feeling the heat off of her engine. Yeah.
So where this is going, we don't know. We're working in something that we don't know where it's going to take us. The only thing I know for sure is that the entire way there is going to be super fun and super challenging. And I'm honored to be part of it. No big deal. And this is how we die.
Sakte mot venstre. Gi på. Kommer i kanten. Dive ned. Følg mot venstre. Følge terrenget. Inn og sprekka. Flat ut. Stig opp. Freshe.
Okej, han går ut till kanten här nu. Han är iväg. Han är iväg.
Han har fått luft på vingene. Begynner å nærme seg kanten.
Go slowly left. Go left. Go left. Running the line.
Nu.
Full control landing. Nå er jeg fullstendig utladet. Åh.
Veien opp på fjellet, gåturen, kan ofte fungere som terapi. Usikkerheten som oppleves ofte sterkere på bakken enn den er når jeg er på exit. Og tida opp kan hjelpe meg til å samle de tankene og få fokus i riktig retning, slik at når hoppet skal utføres, ofte så visualiserer jeg hoppet som skal gjennomføres, før jeg faktisk gjennomfører det.
Det er viktig at den påføles. Hvis ikke den er på, så kan skulderstroppene gli ut.
Og det er merkelig med det, men når jeg er ferdig med visualiseringen, så får jeg litt av den samme forløsende følelsen i kroppen som jeg får når jeg har faktisk hoppet fysisk. Det gir en god følelse, og det forteller meg litt om at jeg er i stand til å mestre det jeg snart skal gjøre. Så drømmer jeg om at jeg flyr. Og da flyr jeg ofte både bortover og oppover. Og jeg har gjerne ikke på meg en vingedrakt eller en fallskjerm. Men den følelsen jeg har der, i drømmen, er ofte veldig lik den følelsen jeg har der ute i realiteten i lufta som basehopper. Og begge deler er helt fantastisk.
Yeah. Hello. This is the base. This is gonna be insane. Here it's real shit, you know. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, it looks fucking close.
Yeah. They got it, no?
Falta uno, ahí coge, míralo, mira cómo coge.
Bello.
I think we got it. I think so.
Cody
doesn't want to tell. He knows, huh? You know, huh? He was there for sure, man.
No, I felt that's it. I think so. No, it's good. Yes!
Who's the dude? You just see? No, this one.
It was sitting so still for so long as well.
Yes,
on the ground, you could see it. But
yeah, me too. I thought it was done.
But it was, dude, if it wasn't done, it was a second away from being done.
I checked it, like I checked that side closed. I was like, yeah, right. I looked that side. I was like, fuck, it looks closed. And then brake closed.
Well, I closed my pod on my audible going, huh? I was a beep, 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 and I was like, bam!
Let's check the video, yeah?
But,
with those, I was like, okay, right, yeah, check it out. But if you close that pod, then I think you do that.
I closed it, huh?
As long as these guys did it.
I'm breathing, and I'm recording, I don't know place. And I got it.
This is the record for it.
10 seconds. It's like close to that second.
Next, this guy falling some soul.
You see all the back here is a...
Let's make our own little cafe. It's gonna be better for you guys.
¿Verdad?
Non si vede turbolenza.
Non si mira tanto turbolenza, vedi?
Sì, non ci vedi.
No? Merda.
Some people think that the Turbulenza logo is the logo of the Skydive Empire Bravo. Everybody is following the flow.
It's like a dream, you know. Sometimes in my dream I jump, you know, flying like that, and I think it will be a reality now. So yeah, it's very exciting.
So is that one of those beautiful, breathtaking moments you and Chris were talking about?
Beyond. Oh, my life is totally changed. Completely changed.
You'll be up there one day.
Nice. Thank you.
Whoa, that'll be the best ever. Absolutely fantastic. When can I do it again?
Honeymoon number 10.